I thought this was a really decent game going. A couple people might have been able to get out, and then everybody just gives up. Tell me how you really feel. All right, before we really start the video, let's take a look at how this came about and what caused these messages to come up in my chat from that game. Oh, good dead hard. What is this? Is the whole team giving up? Head on? No. I'm so fucking confused right now. What's going on? And also, why am I not getting any barbecue value? What the fuck, man? I thought this was a really decent game going. A couple people might have been able to get out, and then everybody just gives up. Tell me how you really feel. How am I toxic? What did I do that was toxic, Uncult? Please. There's one thing I did that was toxic. Alright, as you can see, I never hit on hook, I didn't tunnel, I didn't camp. I played by that so-called survivor rulebook that everyone talks about. Yet for some reason, this team still gave up and won it out for me. This happened to me actually a whole lot during this stream. I only played 11 games over a 3-hour period because we were doing some other things. And I had 11 people give up or DC on me, including these 4. And it made me want to kind of take a break from DVD with that kind of mentality going on. And it gave me an idea for why I wanted to take a break from DVD in the first place. But over time, that kind of evolved in me now having this like apparent discussion about this disregard for our fellow gamers that we have by creating this DC epidemic that we've currently got going on in our meta and DVD. Yes, I am including giving up on hook, just the exact same as DCing, because in the end, the results are the same, if not worse. I feel like the problem is actually more damaging to the game than most people are realizing. It's caused me to take a break even from the game and make me wonder if I even wanted to keep producing content from this game. People quitting the match and forcing their teammates into an even harder match just because you're having a bad time is entitled behavior and creates far more issues beyond that single match. Let me try to explain that though, okay? Please bear with me. Let's say you DC from a match for whatever reason, whether it was a killer you don't like, you're being tunneled or camped, slugged, your mom said it was time for dinner and she wouldn't give you those other 5 minutes that you need to finish the match out. So you leave. What's the situation in that match now? There's still gens left to be done. There's less people to do it. And a killer isn't giving them mercy because, let's be honest, most killers these days don't care why you DC. It's not their fault, like, that you made the choice to DC. So what does that do to the other players left in the game? They're likely to lose the match now, and they're just going to move on to the next, right? But what if that happens again? And again. And again. And again, and again, and again. And soon that becomes so demoralizing for them. And they're like, you know what? No, I need the night off. I'm done for the night, okay? They make this good decision to get off before they start feeling really angry and upset and toxic about it. But then they get on the next day to play again, and it happens again. And again and again. And then on top of that, they're also dealing with that huge disadvantage every match and toxic players, constant ping and map glitches, the constant plague of hackers and exploiters in DVD, and any number of other potentially frustrating issues because we all know this game seems to be just abhorrent with them everywhere. It's a huge abundance of problems. But let's go ahead and let's take that a step further and we're going to start getting into why I took a break. This can start to affect someone's mental health. They can start to feel like no one wants to play with them. No one's worth their time. And honestly, nobody wants to feel like that. And while we're not all kids in this, there's a lot of kids that play this game. And No one wants these kids to feel like that. With all the other toxic behavior in this game, do we want to make anyone else feel worse than they already do on a regular basis? And then we just go and say, well, GG's next, and leave on the first hook, and other survivors might feel like they aren't even worth your time or the effort to try and help them, even though you chose to ready up for this match. You said, I am ready for whatever this game comes at me, ready up. How are you supposed to even be ready then if you're not actually ready? And what about that killer that just made you leave? What about him? You're thinking, oh, well, I got away from the toxic killer. What if they're just trying to get better and improve their skills? So that because maybe they're new, or maybe they're aspiring to be great one day. How are they supposed to do that? You're literally decreasing their chance to be a better player. And you can't blame the killer for you leaving either, no matter how they were playing, because it was your choice. You had every decision to make in that situation of will I stay or will I go now? You can't keep attacking the killer for your own actions simply because they're playing the game. They don't have to follow any special rules. It's not their fault you weren't having fun. Your fun and your happiness is your responsibility, no one else's. I go by that in life and in video games. Just because you're giving up does not mean that someone else is responsible for it. Take responsibility for your own choices and the consequences of those choices, okay? Now, let's go ahead and talk about this match you're seeing in the background right now. It was a game that I played with my wife and one of our best friends, Eris. And to put it bluntly, this was a very difficult match because someone DC'd early on. The random person that was playing with us was a Meg. They just left us. She realized that this blight was literally only going to slug. They weren't going to do anything else but slug us out. And they didn't want a part of that. And I can understand that. And they left. And they probably thought that we were going to give a brutal slaughter. We were going to lose. But we didn't. We put in the effort. We came up with a strategy, partially because we were in voice chat, of how we could possibly come around and beat this. And realistically, I'm surprised we even pulled it off. Long story short, the three of us spread out as far apart as we could, each one of us trying to work on a generator, while the killer ran around and picked one of us to keep going around. As they're sitting there running around, playing games, tunneling each person until they're slugged and then leaving again, it's not a big deal. It's just what the game was. We found a way around it. We came up with that system. After he knocks down one, he goes for somebody else. One of us will come over, res the other one off the ground, and they can go heal in one of the boons. Our flashlights and reassurance are useless. If he's not picking up, he's not putting people on hook, the only thing we can do is do gens and try and hold out on the slug as long as possible. Now, we were lucky enough to be able to get out at the end, me and Eris, because he slugged my wife out. She ended up dying on the ground. It happens in this game all the time. So there's nothing we can do. The game is what it is, okay? If you think about it, if we had that fourth person, I fully believe that even though they weren't in comms, they would have figured out the plan. They would have understood what we were doing. I don't want anybody to feel like they have to play the game. And I'm not going to sit here and yell at somebody because they go in DC a lot. But I am going to try my best to make you think about the consequences of your actions and what you're leaving behind every single time you do. That's the only thing I ask, is that you think about your fellow players. Okay, guys? And I'm more than available and open to any kind of discussions we can have about this. Please throw any opinions you have down in the comment section below. I am very excited to have these conversations with you guys. I feel like as a community, we can learn and grow from all of this. And on top of that, if you guys want to join the Discord, link in the description below, along with the link to my Twitch channel. So please come by, check it out, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Until then, be better, do better, and let's grow together.